Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a T28, it's the Tier 8 American tank destroyer, and it's located on the north, was it south? No, it's the south spawn of Serene Coast, under the command of the Bassman from Hell. He's riding again in his T28, and I did promise you that he would have some more games for you to see, and you'll see how he uses this monster on Serene Coast. One mark of excellence on the barrel, and I think he's trying to get the second mark as quickly as he can. Game started. Now this monster has our 120mm gun with 400 alpha, and it can reload in 9 seconds. And if you follow the link at the end of the game, you'll see that there's a video about the real T28 by Serene. She actually went to Fort Benning and looked through the Cavalry Conservation Centre there, and you can see the real bit of metal, because they did make one of these as a prototype on their way to actually developing the T95. It's basically an assault tank. It's designed to effectively knock down bunkers and concrete emplacements, but they never actually built the T28 as a production model, only the prototype. Because they actually decided that they wanted to go in a different way, and of course they ended up with the T95, and that didn't get built either in the end, but there you go. Well, Bassman saw a Jagdpanzer II off over there, or Jagdpanther I think it may have been. It's a Jagdpanther. Now that's the second version of the Jagdpanther, not the conventional shape. It's the one with the turret at the rear, or the turret, the gun at the rear, and the engine up front. But there's a couple of enemy tanks in front of him, a Defender and an IS-3, and I think they're about to have a very bad day. The thing is, you don't want to be in front of one of these monsters, because the armour is almost impenetrable from front. In fact, one of the only weak spots on this tank is the cupola. There, those pair of cupolas, you can put shells into that, or if you can get around the sides or shoot them in the rear, those are weak spots. But anything from the front, you're not going to get through, or at least you're going to have to use APCR if you are, and try and get through a weak spot. Okay, first shot, IS-3 takes a hit for 400. That's an alpha, average alpha. Average shot, I should say. Oh, took a round from the Defender, and that one went into the tracks. He's repaired them straight away. Where's his repair kit? Well, he's going to need it anyway. Took a round in the tracks from the IS-3. And the Defender's trying to side scrape. And he manages to stop that round going through, but we took a round for 482, and I think that went through the cupola. But we're focusing on the IS-3 to the exclusion of the Defender, who has to come out and get shot by our own guy if he tries to poke. And that IS-3 is now in a whole world of trouble. Yep, because he's gone. That's simple. Now the Defender is going to get the same treatment, basically. Bassman is going to work this corner, trying to get into position. Now there's no Arty. If there were Arty in the game, he wouldn't be able to do this, because this particular pass is one of the areas that Arty can focus on and stop enemy tanks from coming through. But Bassman's decided he's not going to go through the pass, he's going to go around it. And that puts the Defender in a bit of a quandary, because he's got the Object 2 size 7 at one end, and he's got Bassman at the other, and I think I'd rather face the T28, because that happens. That's an ammo rack. I don't think there's not much left of that Defender. It just blew the turret clean off. Okay, we've got an AMX 5120 up there, and there's the Jagdpanther 2 again. He's poked out. He's sitting on that little peninsula, and he keeps coming up to take a shot, but putting back down again. So Bassman's got 2 kills so far, IS-3 and Defender. What's next? Well, there's an AMX 5100 ahead, and he could certainly ruin that guy's day, but I think he's going to deal with this Jagdpanther first, and yes, he's gone. So that's his 3rd kill. The reload time is 9.1 seconds, and that's the book reload, because obviously you can do it faster if you've got vents and a good crew. It's actually very fast, considering that this is quite a heavy gun. Oh, okay, right. The MX-50-120's got 100 rather. He's got very light armor, but the mouse, well, he's a different prospect. The mouse is a different prospect altogether, but it's something that I think that he can easily handle if he can get the right shot in. Well, he's allowed the T95 and the 257 to go around ahead of him, and I think he's going to come up over this rise and try and use this rock for a bit of cover as he engages the mouse. Trying to get through that front plate on the turret. Almost had a chance on the AMX-50-100 there, but here we go. Oh, nicely through, 434. He is using the APCR, he's hand-fused premium ammo, and I wouldn't expect anything less. And that one didn't go through. I think that actually hit the front glacis, so yeah, he wasn't going to get that one. The upper glacis is not very penetrable, but the turret is. And yeah, he put that one through for 459, that's a high roll. And if the mouse stays where he is at the moment, oh, no, he's turned his turret to increase the angle of effectiveness. No, couldn't get that shot through, but he turned his turret towards us, and of course that made it easier for Bassman to get it. So, next shot should be the end of the mouse. Yes, it is! That's his 4th kill, and that's a lovely kill to get, but yeah, okay, over the edge. Oh, don't drive in that direction, that's deep water. There's only 2 enemies left. The AMX-50-100 has got very low health, he's only got 35 hit points, he's basically a one shot and he's now dead. And the last one is the Strip 1030, Tier 9 Swedish Wedge, or Flat Pack, as some people like to call them. And he's facing 6 opponents. I don't think he's going to last very long. The only problem is they don't know where he is. He was last seen near his cap, but he hasn't made an appearance, and I suspect he's down at the other end of the map by now. If not, then he'll be in those bushes. Oh, well, just fired a round in anyway. And they are capping. Oh no, he drowned himself. Oh, what a coward. That's not very nice. I think anybody who automatically drowns himself ought to get a penalty. And I mean that because what Arty Noobs, we don't drown ourselves. We don't. We fight on and fight to the end. And if we don't, we go down fighting. And if we can't win, we'll go down fighting. But we will try to win. I can promise you that. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's a first-class tanker for the BassmanFromHell in the T28. He got an demolition expert because he exploded that defender by setting off his ammo. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. Well, he got 4 exactly. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, and a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. And his win rate for that game was 5-7-5-7, which is Super Unicum standard. So let's have a look at the team score. Well, he is at the top of the table on his team, but he's not the highest damage overall. That goes to the 907 on the enemy team. He did 6,304 hit points of damage. He wasn't facing Bassman. If he was, I think he might have had a bit of a problem. He also managed to get the highest number of kills. He got 5. Bassman managed to get 4. And when it came to base XP, because he's on the winning team, Bassman managed to get 1,313 base experience points. The Conqueror got 857, and then the T100 LT got 857 as well. The high score on the enemy teams, that Object 907, was 677, which is pretty respectable all the same for the amount of damage he did. Let's have a look at detail. He fired 16 rounds of that 120mm gun. He got 13 direct hits and 10 penetration. Damage of 3,734 hit points, of which 354 were at more than 300 meters. He received 5 hits from the enemy, and 3 of them were penetrations, and I think they were very carefully aimed for the cupolas. I think these other opposition players knew exactly where the weak spots on the T28 were, and they went straight for them. 2 non-penetrations, those are the ones that went into the tracks. He damaged 4 of the enemy and killed 4 of the enemy, and he did damage assistance of 513 hit points. On a premium count, he earned 53,670 credits, got 21,468 for completing the mission events. This was around Christmas time. So his total came to 75,138 credits. And after repair and ammunition resupply, he took away 23,584. He earned 1,969 experience, 985 for completing the mission events, took away 2,954 altogether. He titled this replay, "Who's Afraid of That Big Bad Mouse?" Well, he certainly wasn't. And from the position he was in, he was actually doing the right thing, sniping at it from a distance, getting shots into that front plate on the turret, and also the lower plate when he got the opportunity. And because he was using the APCR, it worked. Even though it did cost him a bit in terms of the ammunition resupply, which dropped his overall profit, he did make a profit. It's not that you can't make a profit in the T28. It's got such a really good gun, really good armor, and, well, it's so difficult for the enemy to take down unless, of course, they can get behind it. And the last thing you want to get behind a T28, of course, is a light tank, because he'll just keep pumping rounds into your rear whilst keeping you tracked until he can take you down. But, of course, the baseman, he knows that, and he's not going to allow that to happen. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.